Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we have a full face of Flower Beauty. When I do these videos I buy everything kind of in like here and there. I go and pick something up one time and this time and that time, and then over time I will get everything that I have. So this took me a little while, and then I also had to go to, I went to Walmart and then I had to go to Ulta because I feel like Walmart is getting so much more new brands. Not necessarily brands, but some brands are like taking over more than others. So Walmart's Flower Beauty selection is very small compared to other places. So I had to go here and there. And from what I've noticed, Flower Beauty does not have a bronzer at this point. They have a highlighter palette and a blush, and so I think we can probably go without a bronzer today. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with my Flower Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray. I'm going to use this and then I'm going to use the primer. I've heard some pretty good things on the setting sprays that they have. It's kind of, it's got a scent to it. It's not a bad scent, but it's like, it's not hairspray like some primers can be. Okay, I'm going to use the Flower In Your Prime Hydrating Primer. I'm really into hydrating things. I always kind of pick those more than anything else. So I'm going to kind of dot it around and then we'll blend it in and then pat it in with our sponge. Alright, I'm going to just take my sponge. This is a Flower Beauty sponge. So I'm going to go in with the Light Illusion Foundation. I've had this for a while now and I've been using it, really like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some on the back of my hand here. And just kind of, I'm going to dot it around and then we'll blend it. Normally just like 2 or 3 pumps can really do a good job, and then you can go back in with whatever you need to do. Alright, so that is our foundation. I used 3 pumps of this. Mine is in the shade Light Porcelain L1. When I went to go try to find this and buy this, every time I tried to find it or pick it up, it was always sold out. So when I did find it, I would just like put it in my cart without any thought, because I was like looking for my shade in it. And I would say there's like I would say their shade selection on this foundation is probably not the biggest. It's not the biggest selection of shades on this, but it has a broad spectrum of 18. So, I mean, you have to kind of weigh your options. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it is kind of one of those brands that kind of came out with a bunch of stuff at kind of one time and just launched, instead of like Fenty Beauty just launched foundations. You know what I mean? So maybe they're in the future they will probably get more shades, but for the most part they do have a good shade selection. Maybe you can mix and match some, but I would say it's probably not the best. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to eyes really quick. I don't have an eye primer from them. I'm not sure if they even make one. Okay, now that our eyes are primed, I'm just gonna let that. I'm gonna go in with our brow pencil. This is the Draw the Line brow pencil in brunette. And it has a spoolie on one end, and then it's just like a regular old kind of crayon pencil. So brows are on. I used my NYX Control Freak brow gel because I'm not sure about their brow gel situation. And this pencil is alright. I would say it's super, super creamy. It's not very waxy at all. It's almost like a good eyeliner. But at the same time, I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing. It has some waxiness to it. Like it can hold your brows in place. But for my eyes, my brows being that they're pretty prominent already, I would say I probably would use this again, but very sparingly. Like comb it through, use the spoolie, comb it through, use a spoolie. So I would say you could check it out if you have very sparse brows, because it would probably save you a lot of time. Alright, let's go back to the eyes. So the palettes that I have this little 4-pan palette, and it's the Foxy Browns. I used this a while back, and I wasn't like the hugest fan of it, but we'll try again with it today. And then I got this palette here, and it is called Cool Natural. So the fun thing about this palette is that it goes, it starts over here and goes that way to the darkness, and normally you see palettes going the opposite direction. So I think it's interesting that they did that. And then also comes with a really actually decent sized, a very decent usable brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the brush that it actually comes with, and I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm going to mix these two together. Okay, so I'm just showing you. There's kind of a bit of powder happening, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be the brush, could be the shadow, but it could come out to be something amazing. So maybe this brush wasn't the best idea for what we just did. I'm going to just take the light cream shade and put that on the brow, and then we can go in with other shades here. So these are really soft shadows that they have here. They're really, really soft. Like the brush itself left some kind of scratch marks in the shadow. Onto a different brush that I have. I'm just going to take this blending brush right here, and I'm going to jump into this shade right here. Another thing to note is none of these palettes have mirrors to them, so but that can really make the cost go up to add a mirror. Just to kind of clarify that, it can really make the cost of the product go up. Alright, so this shade that I'm putting in the crease is actually not too bad. It's not super dark, but it's really blending nicely. I would say it's really subtle. This is really subtle, but it's not super... It's not bad. It's not blending out to nothing, and it's still there. So the shade that I'm going to go into next, I think I'm going to go into this shade right here. It's kind of like a purpley tone. Swatch it. Once again, really powdery. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go in with the same brush that I just used. I'm going to take that shade again. Get some on my brush, tap it off. Put it here in the outer corner, not so much into the crease. So far they're not terrible shadows. They are really soft in texture, but I would say they're not terrible. But I can see why some people wouldn't want to buy them. I'm going to zoom in just a bit so you can kind of see what's happening on our eyes. I always kind of forget to do that, but I guess I didn't really forget because I did it. Okay, so this shade is kind of blending out like a little bit much, like it's not staying there. One thing to note, this brand is cruelty free. It has a lot of good things behind the company is what I would say. So far the shadows that I put down are kind of blending together and almost looking muddy. So what I'm going to do to maybe liven this up a bit is probably, it may or may not work, but we're going to try it anyhow. And I'm going to take this shade right here. It's super, super sparkly. I'm going to take some on this brush and see what happens. It's still really sparkly. So this one is just turning out to be glitter more than a shadow. It's just like the glitter is more prominent than the color of the shadow. Yeah, So that color is not working out really, really great for us. So the next one I'm going to take is this one here then. It's like a light champagne. It has a lot of shimmer to it too. Let's see how this one performs on the inner corner. This one's really powdery as well. I'm trying not to be super negative about this palette because overall I like it. It has a really beautiful color layout. It's really pretty in theory, but I just don't see these shadows working out really well. Like, maybe it was my fault, user error. I'm just trying to give things benefit of the doubt, but I just feel like everything kind of is meddling together a little bit. Let's see. I'm gonna try to take this shade and go into the crease, and maybe that can like add it up, or I'm just mixing more colors to colors and we're just gonna ruin it even more. Who knows? Just to kind of, I don't know, add some life back into the eye look. Okay, that shade actually is looking pretty good. So this is the SL Miss Glam brush. When I think about shadows and their performance, I always kind of go back, because I do like to paint, but I do like makeup. So I think about it in that aspect of, if you're painting with paints and your paints are drying out, they're not gonna be as good. So like for a shadow, if a shadow is like really, really too dry, or they didn't mix it properly, or it's not pressed properly, it can really change the integrity of the shadow. And I just don't think, you know, maybe they're trying to come up with something innovative, but sometimes there are just some things that you have to stick with and change just other little aspects of the product. So the color I'm going to go in with next is the one that is the reason I bought this palette, is this pink shade. I can't remember the performance quality of this shade, but we're going to go with it anyhow. And I'm just going to take this brush, it's a stiffer brush, so maybe we can get some color payoff. And I'm going to put this here on the brow bone to lift our eye a bit. And I think I'm just gonna maybe put some on the lid as well, here in the center. As I'm playing with the smaller palette, I'm actually starting to like this one a lot, just for remembrance sake. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend a little bit more in this brow bone. Alright, so this palette I would not recommend. The eye look is alright, it's not the greatest, but I probably wouldn't recommend that for anybody else looking for something like that. Maybe try one of their smaller palettes, maybe they're pressed differently because of the pan size or something. This one kind of looks like it was like made in sections of 5, because here in the center there's like a little like they divide here. And it looks like they're just like made of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 shadows all together, and then I only made 5 and 5, and then they put them together. So I'm not sure how that would work in the process of like pressing them. So, and these ones are individual pans pressed, so we get what we get. So I'm going to go in with the liner that we picked. This is the this is the Forever Wear Longwear liner in Onyx, and it has a little sharpener here at the end too. So that's kind of a plus, I would say. Oh, it's really creamy. So that is the liner. I have it on right now. I absolutely love this liner. It kind of makes the shadow like almost non-existent. I'm gonna go in with my Lash Warrior from Flower. When I first got this mascara, it's like one of those spiky rubber bristle brushes, so it's not the best mascara. Alright, so there's our mascara. This is not my most favorite mascara. It doesn't have a natural bristle brush, which I really like. I like big, fluffy Christmas tree brushes. So this is probably not my favorite, but it doesn't look terrible. So far, the shadow is the part that's like so subtle and I'm not really a fan of. So I'm going to go in with my Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. Mine is in the shade Light L3/4. It's kind of yellowy, which is why I got a little bit of a darker one because I like the yellow content of it, just so I can do under the eyes. Doesn't look too bad. It's really yellowy, but I'm gonna go back in with the powder. But that's why I got it, is because I like a almost like a color correcting concealer. That's what I like. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and powder. This is the Light Illusion Perfecting Powder in the shade Porcelain L1, which is my shade. Go ahead and powder just a little bit. Put some here under the eyes. I like this powder a lot, actually. I like the way that it's kind of applying on my skin. So like I said in the beginning, we don't have a bronzer, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip that and move to blush. This is the blush, the Flower Pots Powder Blush in Warm Hibiscus PB4, and it just kind of looks like a flower like the Milani ones, but I like the packaging a lot better. It's less bulky. Go ahead and take some of this. It has like a golden sheen to it, which I'm actually loving. I also have a blush balm from them. I'm not going to use it in today's video, but we will use it in another video coming up, and I'm excited to play with that. Put that back here for later. So we're going to go in with this flower. Ooh, interesting. So this just, look, see I put my hand through there? This is the top. This just kind of broke a little bit. I'm going to take some, I have to reuse it. I will show you how to fix it. So I'm just gonna slide this off a bit. Slide this off, and then I'm gonna go in with the contents. I'm gonna go in with this highlighter right here. Well, actually I'm gonna go in with the gold so it'll tie in with the blush a bit. So I'm going to show you how to fix this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this back on here like it's supposed to go, because I've already applied my highlighter. And I'm just going to lay it like that, and then take my eyelash glue, because it's cosmetic grade, and apply it where the glue already was on. Okay. So I just applied it here, you can see on the top where the glue was supposed to be, and apply it all in those places. Doesn't have to be generous amount, just play. I'm just using this one from the Ardell brush on with vitamin thing. Look, also a tip today. A quick tip, how to fix a eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna take the palette that it came with and kind of fan the top of it. Reposition the thing, then close it as you would. Everything should be center. Then the magnets that are here will keep it closed, but I just have the tape on it, so I'm using that as well. And that should glue it back together. I'm just going to set this aside so that it doesn't get disturbed. So I have two lip products from them. I don't have any liner because I'm not a big lip collector, but this one I got, it's the Hyper Silk Ultimate Lip Butter, and then I also have their lipstick, This is the Petal Pout lip color, and mine is in the color Cinnamon Crush, but it's a matte, and I didn't know it was a matte, so I'm probably going to go in with this one. This is in this shade. What is this one called? What are you shade? I do not know the shade of this. It is nowhere on it, but it's kind of an orangey color. Very orangey. So there is that. So far this video had a lot of hiccups in it. The other thing that I noticed when I twisted this up is it kind of got a little bit chewed up here on the side. I don't know. It's kind of not, I don't know what happened with that, but that is what happened. So this is the end of my Flower Beauty makeup full face. It was kind of adventurous for us, to say the least. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this lipstick just for sake. It's really pigmented. That is a lipstick. And normally lipsticks themselves don't dry all the way matte because they are a cream. And this just kind of smells like a lipstick. That is the end of this video, you guys. If it was helpful to you, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more videos like this as I stumble over my words. I could not be a news anchor because I would just like constantly have facial malfunctions like this. Trying to do like mouth exercises. So far I really like this lip color though. It kind of is a nudie color, but kind of has a little bit of color to it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!